Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Cougar Nation, and welcome back to our Coaches Weeklies for this season of Cougar football. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, and joining me once again is head coach of that team, Chase Hankins. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And Coach, congratulations to you and your team. A big win this weekend, taking down Rockford University 37-26. Second consecutive conference win in a row. Brings you guys to 2-2 in conference, 4-2 in a season, and what's been already the most wins in a season for a long time at this school. And you still got a good bit of the season to go. You look at that game against Rockford, dominant performance, start to finish, and on the offensive end, a lot of explosive plays, but it was a good balance between the offense and between the passing and the rushing. Colton Bosch, great day through the air, 220-something yards, 4 touchdown passes, and Jerron Brown, 160 rushing yards and a touchdown as well. Good balanced attack, which is something that we honestly haven't seen too much from your offense this season. It's usually one or the other. So how is it putting that together, and do you want to see more of that going forwards?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When the defense can't just pin their ears back and predict what you're going to run, that's usually beneficial for us. But, we want to be able to have that balanced attack, and I think that we've done a really good job these past 2 games with Eureka and Rockford of ironing out those kinks. And, being able to have that solid run game that we can rely on, and then those explosive plays that we kind of view as dessert for doing everything right throughout the entire drive is something that we really are proud that we're building on.
Mm-hmm. And you look on the other side of the field, the defense has been the talk of the Cougars all year long, and the box score doesn't really tell the whole story of the game. Rockford really just closing in that fourth quarter. So as a whole for the defense through the game, how are you, how do you feel about their performance and kind of some of those standout parts? The pass rush, you talked a lot about your young guys. The young guys put on a great show with the pass rush against Rockford, a couple of sacks there. So kind of what were some highlights from the defense on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, the pass rush was really good, and, we lost focus near the end there in the fourth quarter. Rockford's, to their credit, they're a coaching staff that will never stop playing, and I think that we've got a lot of that as far as a test the rest of the way, where we got a bunch of teams that just don't quit once the score gets a little bit lopsided. So, we lost a little bit of focus there, and we really want to iron out those kinks as well. But, I think that Coach Druick and his impact that he's made this year has been absolutely fantastic, and you're seeing it come forth in the confidence with a lot of our young guys. Caden Strower, he had a fantastic game last week, but it's kind of slept on how much he's contributed, where he's already got 60 tackles as a freshman. He's made a huge impact. Our captain, Lambaz, he's been playing fantastic. It was really good to see Brandon Shipp and Devin Shear come forth as transfers that have come in and had good play at points. But I think both of them had their most complete games this past week as well. So I'm really happy with the way our defense is playing through 3 quarters, and I'm really happy with how our offense is playing for 3 quarters. But we really need 4 quarters if we want to finish this season off strong.
Mm-hmm. And, you look ahead, and it's a tall task to finish this season strong, starting this week mainly, as you guys are coming back home for a home game, and you're going to be taking on Concordia University, Wisconsin. The Falcons coming down from Mequon. And that's a team that this year has really come out to be the cream of the crop in the NAC, a conference that's kind of had a bit of an unexpected year. Teams that were supposed to be winning aren't. Teams that weren't expected to be at the top of the conference, like Concordia, Wisconsin, suddenly the last undefeated team in the NAC, coming off of a win over Aurora for them this last week. So as you have a very good team coming into your home field in what could be the toughest game you guys go up against this season, how do you just kind of approach that coming on with, being a hot team yourself as of late?
Yeah, I think that ultimately the big thing that we've got to learn from past in this season is, the result of games is really a distraction towards what we actually want to get done. Where, I think if we just turn back the time a little bit and look at the first 3 weeks of the season, we came out of week 2 thinking that we were really, really good and thinking that we were going to just steamroll St. Norbert, and that didn't turn out to be the case. And I think that we were able to refine that spark where it's sort of like the same test at a different point in the year of we had 2 games that we handled and we did what we expected to do, but have we really grown and learned that it's really about what we do throughout the week that's going to determine whether or not we're successful at the end of Saturday. So, it's a nameless, faceless opponent, and at the end of the day, we're going to be consistent with what we do, where it's not about who we're playing, it's about what we're doing.
Absolutely. You look at how you're playing. What is your plan to go out there and win on Saturday? What do you want to get done? What are your goals for your team to put up more points on the board and get the win?
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty simple fix in theory and recipe of we got to put 4 quarters together and we got to keep playing. I think with Minnesota Morris, we were able to play all 4 quarters and we were able to come up big at the end there. And then Manchester, we played really strong for 3 quarters, and Eureka, same deal. Rockford, same deal. Where the expectation is we just got to put all 4 quarters together. And pretty simple, if we play the 4th quarter like we've played 1, 2, and 3, we should score more points. So that's really the game plan right now.
Well, we'll see if your team can score more points against Concordia, Wisconsin this Saturday. Like we mentioned, Cougars taking on the Falcons at home here in River Forest at 1 o'clock. You'll be able to catch that game live on the Cougar Sports Network. And you can get caught up on everything from this season and everything that's to come at cucougars.com. Coach Hankins, thank you for joining us again.
Of course.
And thank you all for tuning in to another Coach's Weekly for this season of Cougar football. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. And as always, roll Cougs. Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to River Forest, Illinois, here on Saturday, October 25th, for the return of Naction to Concordia Stadium and Concordia University, Chicago. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, and joining me today is Alex Abbott, and we have an exciting rivalry matchup coming up right here in River Forest. Concordia University, Chicago, hosting the Concordia University, Wisconsin Falcons in a NAC conference matchup, and it's a matchup of two hot teams. The Cougars, they're coming into today on a 2-game win streak. They're up to 2-2 in conference, dominant wins against Eureka, and then last week a dominant win against Rockford, Illinois. They've figured out a balanced attack on offense, the defense continuing to establish itself as the strong point of this team. And the craziest thing is, they're going up against a team that might be twice as hot in Concordia, Wisconsin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at Concordia, Wisconsin, you can't argue with them being undefeated in the conference. You really can't argue with their success there. So it should be a really good matchup, especially with the Concordia, Chicago coming off a hot win as well. Yeah,
this is a Concordia, Wisconsin team that, after taking down Aurora University last week, taking down St. Norbert's earlier in the year, this is a team that is in the driver's seat to pick up a conference title for the first time in a long time, as Aurora finally on track to be dethroned in the NAC this year. So, tough matchup coming up for the Cougars, and one of the parts of Concordia, Wisconsin that's going to make it a tough matchup is their passing offense. They are an offensive powerhouse that has been electric, and it's all powered by Roman Funk, who is coming off the best game of his career last week against Aurora. Funk, 478 passing yards, 7 touchdowns through the air, set the Concordia, Wisconsin school record with that number. He has been outstanding this year, nearly 2,000 yards on the season as a whole, and he looks to continue that against a tough Concordia defense today. But Concordia, Wisconsin, they have a great offense. Their defense has been solid too as well.
Absolutely, and going back to the offense, you see they're throwing 280 yards per game, led by Roman Funk there. So that's going to be the key to their win today, is to keep that offense rolling, but the defense as well. If Concordia Chicago can actually exploit that defense to score some touchdowns, get some really good passing plays out of the running back, or out of the quarterback, and some runs out of the running back, it would be a huge win for them as well.
100%. And that defense, I mean, it's headlined going into this week by Logan Hartman, reigning NAC Defensive Player of the Week. Concordia, Wisconsin picking up a doubleheader in the NAC Awards this last week. But Jerron Brown for the Cougars looking to give Concordia, Wisconsin a hard time. That's what this Cougars offense has been looking for. CU dub a 3-4 formation on defense. Concordia, Chicago looking to pounce on that, pound the rock again and again and again, and take advantage of a mismatch on the ground with Jerron Brown, who's been one of the most consistent players for the Cougars over the last 3 years.
Yeah, and Colton Bosch, too, coming off a hot game, 4 touchdowns last game, and then 5 touchdowns throwing the previous game before that. So if he can maintain that momentum to keep playing and keep those passing yards and passing touchdowns going, it's going to be a huge key, which we'll talk about here in a little bit for Concordia, but it's going to be really big for Chicago as well.
Yeah, and that last thing to note on the Cougars, the Concordia Chicago defense, it's been the strongest part of their team throughout this season. It's been the most notable storyline, as this team went from having one of the worst, if not the worst, defense in D3 in the country last year to having a very strong defense this year, putting up numbers, putting on a great show. The pass rush has been outstanding. Part of that has been freshman Caden Strohr, who you talk with Coach Chase Hankins. He'll say Strohr, one of those players who's already playing like a sophomore. This defense has been excelling, and they're going to get to try and show just how good they are against the best offense they've faced all year long against Concordia, Wisconsin. As we get ready to go here in River Forest, we'll run through our keys to the game for these two squads, or at least the Cougars. And Alex, what's your key to the game for either of these teams to pick up the win?
Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. So the first one for Concordia Chicago is win in the trenches, both offensively and defensively on the line. So you look at offensively for the Chicago here is that they need to establish the run game, and their offensive line needs to be like the walls of Babylon to protect that run game. When you get that run game going, you can actually open up the passing game, the play actions, so that way Colton Bosch can do his thing to throw those passing yards and the passing touchdowns there. So that's going to be the biggest key for Chicago here.
Yeah, and another part of that offensive game and defensive game for the Cougars, it's something that Coach Chase Hankins has been talking about all season long, is playing a complete game, and that's something this team really has to focus on. This very well could be a shootout. A strong Concordia, Wisconsin offense, a strong Concordia, Chicago
offense. This could be a high-scoring game, and you got to keep up with the other offense. If the Cougars want to be able to pull out the win at home today, you got to start scoring in the first quarter from the get-go, and you got to keep scoring until the fourth quarter. And the same goes for the defense. That game against Rockford, dominant win from start through third quarter, as Coach Chase Hankins would describe it. And you get to that fourth quarter, you give up a few points, and you don't really play a complete game. It's fine against Rockford last week, won't be fine against a team like Concordia, Wisconsin this week, and that's what the Cougars need to focus on to have a chance to pull off the upset at home today. Before we get going here in River Forest, a quick look at the history between these two teams, and it's a fun one in that it's a rivalry matchup. It hasn't been fun results-wise for the Cougars. Long history between these two squads. The Cougars, however, only beating the Falcons 8 times in that matchup history to 24 wins for Concordia, Wisconsin. So the Cougars got some work to do today in what's been a lopsided matchup. Last year fell 52-24 to the Falcons, so they'll look to right that wrong in what could be one of the final matchups in the conference formula between these two squads, as we'll talk a bit more about the changes coming for Concordia, Wisconsin throughout the game today, but I'll do it on the pregame. Concordia, Chicago taking on Concordia, Wisconsin in just a few minutes. Don't go away. It's the Cougars and the Falcons coming up on the Cougars Sports Network. Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to River Forest. We're live on the Cougar Sports Network from the start of today's matchup between the Concordia University Chicago Cougars and their rivals, Concordia University Wisconsin Falcons. The Falcons coming down from Mequon to take on the Cougars around the midway point of the conference season. As that starts to wind down, the Falcons come into today on a hot streak. 5 straight wins, undefeated in conference, 5-0, and they look to start up their final 3 games of the conference season with a strong performance against Concordia Chicago on the road today. The Cougars on a hot streak of their own, 2 straight wins for CUC, taking down Eureka and then Rockford back to back. And they'll look to continue that hot streak and take down the Falcons for the first time in 6 games. Concordia, Wisconsin beating Concordia, Chicago in those last 6. And what has been a long-standing rivalry between these two schools. I'm Jonathan Shear on the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me today is Alex Abbott. And Alex, as we get ready to go, you're a hot team yourself if you're the Cougars, but you're going up against a hotter team in the Falcons. How do you approach the start of this game mentally, knowing that you are the underdogs, even if you're at home?
Absolutely, and there's probably more to be played in this game with your sister school, kind of almost your rival, if you will. So going out there, having just the motivation and the drive to keep going with your teammates. I'm sure they talked a lot about that in the pre-games as well as a lot of the drills that they were running throughout the week. Just keeping that focus and realizing that, yes, you are hot, you can ride that momentum, but you do have a formidable opponent out in front of you.
It's a beautiful fall day in River Forest. A nice 50 degrees. You throw on the sweater, come out to Concordia Stadium for Cougar football as we get ready to go. Vincent Pagenkopf lines it up for the Cougars. Back to receive for the Falcons is Cameron Pierre and Nick Cowell. As we get ready to go, Stadium continues to file in.
What a wonderful day out here, Jonathan. I mean, it makes you want to go to the apple orchard, dude. It is absolutely gorgeous out. It's a perfect fall day, and it's a fantastic day for football on a Saturday here.
And that football is ready to go. Pagenkopf puts the arm up, and we are underway in River Forest. That'll go over and be dropped to the ground by Jason Leonard, but Leonard finds a gap down the sideline, still on his feet, not brought down until the 43-yard line. Jason Leonard goes from worst case scenario to pretty dang good, as Concordia, Wisconsin will start their day with some great field position.
Absolutely, and what a recovery by him. The opening kickoff, when that fumbles out of your fingertips, that is something that you focus on in that split second, but good job on him for picking that up and keep going, and good job for Chicago to actually maintain the defense there and make that tackle to stop what could have been a very big play on the kickoff.
Now we'll see our first look at Concordia, Wisconsin's offense today, led by Roman Funk. Funk has had an outstanding year so far, nearly 2,000 passing yards, and he's coming off the best game of his career against Aurora, 478 passing yards, a program record, 7 touchdowns through the air. Concordia, Wisconsin, they'll start things on the ground, and Asher Thomas goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's a good defense there. And going back to the keys of the game, the defensive line and the offensive line, but specifically the defensive line here, good job for maintaining that integrity and actually making that 1-yard play for the opening drive there.
Yeah, this is a vastly improved Concordia Chicago defense from last year. Totally new personnel, new coaching staff, and the defense has been the strongest part of that. The defensive line especially, great run defense, great pass rush. They've been outstanding this year. And now we'll see our first look through the air. Funk almost connects. Incomplete. Watson had it in his grasp, and it's broken up in the secondary by Demarius Dumas.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to the defense, getting the new coach, the assistant coach of the year for the conference, and just reformatting this defense. You see that in that play right there, just the toughness that the defensive backs have to have against a very good passing opponent here in Concordia, Wisconsin.
Big third down to start the game. 3rd and 8 from the 45. Snap. Funk, straight shotgun, looking deep to the left on the comeback, and it is complete. Diving grab made by Leonard. And it's a first down for the Falcons. There's nothing really much you can do to fault the Cougars' defense with that play. Perfect route run from Leonard.
Yeah, it was just perfectly executed, and you, unfortunately, like you said, you can't beat that many times.
1st and 10 from the Cougars, 42. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Thomas in the backfield to the right of Funk. Snap, handoff to Thomas, cutting left, not gonna make it to the line of scrimmage. Breaking through to the backfield is Devine Shearer to get the first touch and trip him up, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
There you go, and that's a repeat of the opening drive that we saw earlier. A really good just defensive stop on 1st down for Concordia Chicago. If they keep doing that throughout the game, that's going to be a huge key to success for them if they can lock down the defense, the secondary, as well.
2nd and 11 from the Cougars, 43. Same formation, but flipped. Snap, Funk, quick look to the right, pass, caught, staying on his feet, couple of spins before he's brought down is Nick Cowell on a solid 6-yard gain. He'll set up 3rd and 5 to go.
2nd, 3rd down on this drive. Let's see if Concordia Chicago can actually capitalize off of it.
There'll be 3 receivers left, 1 right. Thomas still in the backfield.
38% on the season for the Falcons on 3rd down. Let's see if they can convert.
Funk hit hard! Slamming him down is Caden Strauer! And the Cougars get the stop.
That was just unrecognized blitz pick up there. That is exactly what Chicago needed to put that 4th down and get the ball in their hands, let their offense really go out there and show what they can do.
Just shot out of a cannon. Strauer untouched all the way to Funk. Funk didn't even have a chance to react, just exploiting that Concordia, Wisconsin offensive line.
That makes their 13th sack of the year now for Concordia Chicago, so that's a really good start to the game here.
Punt is off from Max Mashonsky, and it's muffed! And the Falcons have it! A nightmare start to the day for the Cougars. At number 29, Josiah Lugo. And the Cougars defense is going to have to go right back out, pinned back in the red zone.
And that's tough for the freshman. Jonathan, if something like that happens as a player, how do you come back from that, like mentally, going back to the next punt return he may receive?
You got to get off the sideline, and you got to just honestly take a minute to yourself and just clear your head, full mental reset. Your guys will come over to you, they'll try and pick you back up, and you just got to let them, and you got to move on from it, have that memory of a goldfish.
Absolutely. There's plenty more football to be played as well.
Here's some red zone football for the Falcons. Roman Funk back out on the field. Snap, dropping back, looking deep to the end zone. Wide open for the touchdown is Jason Leonard. And the Falcons take immediate advantage of the Cougar turnover to put 6 on the board.
And that was a really great route, and that was just a fantastic throw by Roman Funk there to put it right where the receiver needed it as he broke through the secondary.
Out for the PAT is Cole Martin. Actually, it is Kason Brennan, sophomore out of Overland Park, Kansas. And kicks up and good as CU Dub gets on the bird first. Falcons lead 7-0. As you see that touchdown pass, again, Leonard breaks through to the secondary. The high safety coming over and coming up the corner, staying with it, and they just kind of get trapped around the goal line. No one picking up Leonard in the end zone. And it's an easy play. Nice pass, nice touchdown for the Falcons. But it all goes back to that muffed punt, and you don't make that mistake.
Absolutely.
Scoreless game. Your offense could be marching down the field. Instead, you're down 7-0, and you're already in a hole.
Especially when that punt is going to be happening inside of the 10-yard line. That is something where you have to have the hands of steel.
And You go back a few games ago at home, that St. Norbert's conference opener, the Cougars put up a good fight, showed a lot of potential in that game, but were never really in it because of turnovers, because of mistakes. And we were going up against the best teams in the conference, like the Green Knights, like the Falcons. Those are mistakes that you can't be making. Kickoff is taken cleanly. And breaking through into the secondary is Henson. Henson still going to the 46. A great return for Booba Henson and the Cougars knocking on the door of Wisconsin territory.
That's absolutely the catalyst and the kickstart that you need to this offense. On a great kick return, you're starting at the 50-yard line. That way you can get your offense really going. That was a fantastic kick return. That's exactly what Chicago needed right now.
A little kickstart for the Cougars offense as Colton Bosch will lead his men out there for the first time today. It'll be a tight set for the Cougars. Brown in the backfield. Snap. Handoff to Brown. Going up the middle, and it'll be a short gain of just a yard to start the day.
This will be a good look for Jerron Brown as well, averaging 107 yards on the ground per game. It's going to be a huge part of the offense here is getting that run game established to open up play action and some of the passing yards for Bosch to actually go out there and start throwing.
And you've seen that the Cougars offense has become more balanced as the year has gone on, but they have been able to just go all in on one part of the offense when they have to. One receiver to either side. There's Lawson in motion. Snap, handoff to Brown. Trying to find a gap up the middle, tripped up. And it'll be another short gain, just 3 yards. And it'll be 3rd and 6 right at the 50.
You saw a little bit of that stutter step from him there as well, trying to find that hole. And it was a nice couple-yard pickup, but 3rd and 6 here now. It's going to be really big for Jerron Brown, who's actually coming off the field right now.
Henson coming into the game. Cougars with Henson on the field use a bit more quick motion. And we could see that coming up on the 3rd down play. One receiver to either side. Henson in the backfield. There's Jackson in motion. Snap. Bosch immediately rolling to the right. Immediately under pressure. Just has to let it fly out of bounds. And Concordia, Wisconsin gets the stop on 3rd down. And Dennis Vanderplow will come out to punt for the first time today.
And that instant pressure from the Falcons, too, just absolutely blew up that play. So that's unfortunate to see, but you still got some good runs out of Jerron Brown there, and at least that good kick return as well to kind of set that up. We can keep that momentum going.
Vanderplow has had a great year punting for the Cougars so far on the season. Vanderplow averaging 38 yards a punt, as that one will be down and picked up at the 15. Trying to take it out is Cameron Pierre, and Pierre able to get a good return. Could have been pinned within the 20. Instead, the Falcons will start this drive around the 30.
Yeah, that punt definitely had some wobble to it, so not one of the balls that you want to catch on your own, but he was able to grab that after it hit the ground, and that was still a good return for the Falcons there.
So Roman Funk leading his offense back out onto the field. 35 yards, 1 touchdown through those first 2 drives. And, just an interesting, it almost feels like it was one offensive drive for the Falcons. As there's 3 receivers left, none to the right. There's a snap handoff to Pugh. Pugh up the middle. Barreling his way for a couple of yards.
Yeah, and you can tell Roman is already in the groove. The last game we already talked about, 478 yards, 7 touchdowns. You can already tell he's starting to get some of that momentum. So if the Cougars can actually try to stop that, get a good stop here on this drive, we can really get him out of his element there.
4 receiver set, 3 left, 1 right. Pugh still in the backfield. Cougars little motion on defense. They'll blitz. Funk rolling out to the left. Lets it fly. Pass caught on the sideline by Leonard again for a first down. That connection already killing the Cougars today. Funk to Leonard. Now over 40 yards on the day. just that connection. First and 10 at the 47. Cougars defense gets set. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Man in motion. There's a snap. Funk looking to the right. Pass caught and brought down immediately as Victor Watson Jr. not able to get past the line of scrimmage.
That was a good read on that kind of mini screen pass there to the right for the Cougars.
Yep, and honestly, so far, where Wisconsin's been succeeding, it's on the longer throws downfield. Everything in the short field, the Cougars defense has been able to stop so far.
Absolutely.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Still Pugh's drive in the backfield. There's a snap. Funk, he'll give it to Pugh. Pugh finds a hole to the left. Still on his feet. Still going. Brought down at the 34-yard line for a big gain and a first down.
That was just great blocking on that play.
Yeah.
Going back up to the offensive line, I mean, that was just what you're looking for to try to make those running games happen.
It's actually Jerome Hinton on the run in the backfield right now. 2 receivers right, 1 left, first and 10 at the Cougars 33. Snap, handoff to Hinton, trying to cut to the left again, staying on his feet before he's finally brought down after a 3-yard pickup. It's a short gain for the freshman.
Second and about 7 here now.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Cougars defense with a too high look. There's a snap. Funk looking deep. Hit as he throws, but wide open for the touchdown is Drew Allen.
Second passing touchdown of the day, and he maintained his composure as that blitz was coming his way. That was just a good throw and a good run, too, by the receiver to actually get back into the end zone.
Yeah, and almost a blown coverage from Devine Shearer, staying, watching that middle, trying to play the spy, and he just lets Allen run all the way straight behind him into no man's land in the middle of the field. And it sets up a 2-possession lead early for the Falcons.
Case and Brennan back out for the point after.
As it makes it a 14-0 game. We'll get a quick look.
Got a 13-0 here. That was wide right.
Oh, that was wide right. 13-0. As here's a look at that play. And you see Allen just through the middle. None of the Cougar linebackers picking him up. And with that high safety look, no one's there to make the play. And just another mistake in coverage for the Cougars as the Falcons jump out big early on.
Yeah, it's kind of mirrors how they scored their first touchdown, too. That a linebacker was late to notice the coverage pickup and that deep safety just not covering in time.
And I mean, we've even seen it today. This Cougars defensive front, the pass rush, the run stop, that's the strongest part of this team's defense. You can tell the Falcons trying to exploit the Cougars secondary right now, and it's been working. Out for the kickoff is Brennan. As back to receive for the Cougars is Kevon Lawson and Josiah Lugo. Kick is away. Coming up for it is Lugo, who picks it up. Lugo looking for a gap to the left. Not going to find much of one. Brought down at the 29.
That's exactly what that freshman needed right there, is a good kick return, good secure catch, and a nice, decent run after.
Yeah. Lugo sets the Cougars up with some pretty average field position as Colton Bosch will lead his offense back out onto the field. Cougars 3-and-out on their first drive last time. Going to look to get something more. And with the way this game's looking, it is going to be a shootout, and you're going to need to get that offense moving.
Yeah, you look at University of Wisconsin here playing Aurora University. They won 54-45, another offensive shootout of a game.
And Bosch wrapped up and brought down.
That looked like that was just a miscommunication between him and the running back there.
It honestly looked like there just wasn't any protection from the offensive line on that play. The defensive line breaking through. Lawson would have gotten rocked if he'd taken the handoff, and Bosch trying to keep it for himself. Enough guys through that he gets rocked too. And the Cougars second and very long. They'll keep the empty set, 3 right, 1 left. There's Jackson in motion. Snap, Bosch, quick look to the left to Jackson. And Jackson able to slip through one man, and he'll go down at the 35. Big pickup for Wes Jackson, and it sets the Cougars up with 3rd and manageable.
And that's good for the yards after catch. You saw just that quick broken tackle, what was a very short throw to make that a very sizable gain.
And Wes Jackson, first team All-NAC last year, the only Cougars player to make first team. And he had a slow start to this season, really broke out last week against Rockford. And he's the first Cougars receiver to get going today against CU. The Falcons, as it's offsides, it's a free play. Bosch lets it fly! Incomplete! Corey Randall nearly bobbled it around for the catch.
Oh, yeah, and he was fighting to the end to try to catch that ball. He was on his back and still trying to get that.
Oh, free play nearly works out for the Cougars, but they do get the 5 yards and the first down. So the drive keeps moving as the Sticks move along. It'll be 1st and 10 for Concordia Chicago at the 40. Honestly, full credit to the Concordia Wisconsin secondary, staying glued to Randall and forcing a tough play, even with the free play. There's the snap, and the handoff is dropped, and it's recovered by the Falcons.
That's the second miscommunication there on handoffs for the Falcons.
And the Cougars, after their first down the day, are going to give the Falcons the ball in great position.
That's the 7th lost fumble for the Falcons for the Cougars this season. And as we all know with turnovers are just something that you cannot let happen. That's how you give up points. And with the turnover for the kick return in this one now, that's definitely something they're probably going to have to look at and talk about at halftime as well.
Roman Funk taking his offense back out onto the field. 2 receivers to either side. Here's a snap. Funk dropping back under pressure. Funk brought down! Breaking through the line is Mikal Harris on the blitz. And it's a big loss for the Falcons, 2nd and a country mile around the 50.
What a great move by the sophomore defensive back there. Just getting that 2nd sack of the game. That's exactly what the Falcons need to keep this momentum going, especially on defense, try to stop Roman Funk and his offense.
And you had, coming from the backfield, you had Jacob Pugh pick him up, and he was making contact with him. And it's a great job from Harris to just go through the contact, even with a guy hanging on your back, and just force the QB into a tough spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Snap, Funk, handoff to Pugh, and Pugh has a gap to the left, still going, brought down at the 35, and Pugh gains everything back from the sack. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Concordia, Wisconsin. This Concordia, Wisconsin backfield by committee has done a solid job. Pugh and Hilton working out. There'll be 2 receivers left, 1 right for the Falcons on 3rd down.
See if that linebacking core can lock it up here for the defense.
Snap, Funk looking left, looking for Leonard, and Leonard makes the play again. And he's brought down within the 10.
You had one of those linebackers there blitzing, and they picked that up perfectly, and that's exactly where that ball was thrown there, where the linebacker actually was blitzing, left his spot.
Yeah. And again, 3rd down. They're going to Jason Leonard, and it's worked every single time for the Falcons so far. They turn 2nd and 25 into a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. One receiver to either side. Thomas back in the game in the backfield. Handoff to Thomas to the left, spinning through the gap. And he'll be stopped. Forward progress at the 4-yard line. So 2nd and goal, 4 out for Concordia, Wisconsin. Thomas, that short yardage, pound the rock back for Concordia, Wisconsin. He's been struggling through his first few carries today. 4 receiver set, 3 right, 1 left for Funk. Thomas still in the backfield. Snap, Funk looking right, pass off, picked off!
There we go.
Play is made by Devine Shearer. And the Cougars force the turnover in the red zone.
That's exactly what the Falcons needed. That linebacking core stepping up, knocking that ball down, getting that interception, trying to get its momentum back. With only a 2-score game here, that's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, Roman Funk, he just fully just staring down his target. He was looking for Nick Cowell on the short slant in the end of staring him down from the line of scrimmage, and Shearer watching that, just kind of hanging back a little bit from engaging with the offensive line, and he's able to get up there, bat it up, and bring it down himself. And the Cougars offense back out on the field, pinned very deep, but they are back out on the field. 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line. Low snap, handoff to Brown. Brown to the right, has a bit of a gap, and he's going to fight his way forward.
Hey, that's a big run, especially backed up to the end zone. That is exactly what they're looking for on offense for a first play there.
Yeah, it gives
That's
you
awesome.
2nd and short, but it gives you space.
Absolutely.
And with how unsteady this Cougars offense has been with the ball so far, that's very important. 2nd and 2 to go at the 13-yard line. 2 left, 1 right. Brown in the backfield. Low snap again, and it's going to be turned over again. It's a scoop and score!
With the reach there. Again, the miscommunications for the Cougars here. They just fumbling the ball on this past drive, but also the drive before that. I mean, that is just unacceptable in terms of just turnover management.
C.J. Green, the defensive lineman, with the touchdown for the Falcons.
And, man, he was fighting for that, too. He had the reach and everything. That's going to be on the SportsCenter top 10 tonight, man.
Concordia, Wisconsin. Now they're going to be going, looks like they're setting up to go for 2. They'll try and make it a 21-point game after missing the PAT last time out. Roman Funk didn't know where his running back was, and now Asher Thomas heads out onto the field. Quad set to the right, empty backfield. There's a snap. Funk looking for Leonard, caught for the 2-point conversion. And Concordia, Wisconsin up to a 21-0 lead early. And honestly, the biggest thing on this Cougars team right now is this defense, in some capacity, just got to be frustrated with the offense.
Yeah, and the defense has been out there for 3 full drives. Mm-hmm. And so the energy that they've spent, the motivation that they're probably losing because they're out there, they're gassed, and the offense not giving them time to recover.
And it's every single big play. That first play, you're going up against an electric offense. You force a 3-and-out on the first drive, punt return, turnover, quick touchdown. Next drive, it's a long drive touchdown, but then here you go. 3rd drive, Cougars offense out there, give up the scoop and score on a bad snap.
Right.
And that's 14 points handed to the Falcons that this Cougars defense really wasn't able to do much about. Out for the kickoff is Brennan. Back to receive is Lugo and Leonard. That'll go over to Lawson, who's able to run and grab it. Looking for a gap up the middle, brought down at the 33. And
it's a decent return there. Offense coming back out on the field now.
And that's something is to know after coming off that left drive. The Cougars starting center this year, Matt Godar, is out today with an injury. So starting at center today for CUC, it has been Trey Williams. And you don't want to blame the freshman backup coming into the game, but that is the reason for that bad snap and scoop and score.
Yep.
1st and 10 at the 33. Empty set for Bosch. There's Lawson in motion. Snap. Bosch fakes the handoff. Looking to the middle. A lot of time. And it's dropped by Corey Randall.
And he had the time. The offensive line gave him great protection there, and that's just something you don't want to see out of your receivers is an easy catch there that is turns into a drop.
Yeah, this Cougars offense struggling to hold on to the ball to start the day as the official has put 9 seconds back on to the clock. 2nd and 10 at the 33, 2 right, 1 left. There's Jackson in motion. Snap, handoff to Brown, out to the left. Brown through the line of scrimmage, still going for a first down.
That was just a well-timed spin move. Try to gain that extra 4 yards there for Jerron Brown. That was a good move there.
Looks like they'll spot it about a foot or two back, so it'll be 3rd and short.
What are you thinking here, Jonathan? 3rd and short with the run game that's been somewhat successful in some capacity here?
I think you have to almost run it with Brown here, especially with how inconsistent your passing offense has been. But they'll throw it, and the catch is made for the first down.
There you go.
By Jackson.
I stand corrected.
Well, they do go to the one receiver who has been consistent so far today in Wes Jackson, that safety blanket for Colton Bosch. And he makes the play, first down for the Cougars at the 45.
It's a nice quick out route. Maybe that's why I'm broadcasting and not coaching, you know?
Cougars knocking on the door of midfield again. 2 right, 1 left. Brown in the backfield. Jackson in motion. Snap, Bosch, handoff to Brown. Up the middle, and he'll be stopped after 2 yards to make it 2nd and 8. That's something that Chase Hankins has emphasized with his team is making the game plan work even after a sloppy start. You go back to that St. Norbert's game again, very similar, almost deja vu from that game to this game. The Cougars put in a big hole early because of turnovers and mistakes, and you stick with the game plan. You find a way to make it work even when your players have been struggling. Snap, Bosch, play action, keeps it himself, looking to the left. High pass brought down by Randall. And he steps out of bounds as he tries to cut around and make some space, but it does make it 2nd and 3 to go. 3rd and 3 to go.
A good catch by that freshman there, especially coming off the drop that he had earlier.
So 3rd and short again for Colton Bosch. As time expires on the first quarter, we head to the second quarter. Cougars in enemy territory for the first time today, but they are in a big hole. Falcons lead 21-0. We'll be back in a minute on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back for quarter number 2 between the Cougars and the Falcons. 3rd and short for Colton Bosch and Concordia Chicago. They're into the Falcons' territory for the first time today. They've got 3 yards to go to keep this drive moving. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Brown to the left in the backfield. Snap, Bosch gives it to Brown up the middle, and he's not going to make it past the line of scrimmage. Brown stopped short.
I think they moved up just a couple inches there, Jonathan.
So it's 2 yards to go. And Chase Hankins sends Dennis Vanderplow back to the sideline. They'll keep the offense out there, go for it in 4th down. And with this big of a hole, you've got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, down by 3 scores in enemy territory, if you will, on their side of the field. It's absolutely worth a shot here, 4th and 2.
2 right, 1 left. Jackson in motion. There's a low snap, handoff to Brown to the left side, and he has the first down. Jerron Brown.
There you go. With a 4th down conversion of 23% on the year, that's exactly what they needed.
Just shooting through, and you can tell he's getting low. He's diving forward, just doing whatever it takes to get the first down. And this offense will stay out on the field up to the 38-yard line with a first down. Henson out in the backfield now. There's a snap, handoff to Henson up the middle, splits the gap, and it's a big gain. First down up to the 27-yard line.
There you go, and the Cougars sticking with the running game there, and it is working out for them on this drive.
And honestly, that's the second time that we've seen Booba Henson take the ball today, and he's had himself a great day. Big return off of the kickoff earlier, and then his first rushing attempt of the day for 11 yards. 1st and 10 at the 27. Henson stays out there. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Bosch. Snap, handoff to Henson again, and he's going to lose it! Fighting for it with Logan Dable.
Good on him for getting back on that ball, but that is the title of this game is I ate too much Butterfingers before I played. It's the fumbles have just been outrageous.
And when you go back to that St. Norbert's game, a lot of turnovers for the Cougars coming out of that game. Chase Hankins saying about his team, this isn't like them. This is uncharacteristic. We don't make mistakes like this normally. And the Cougars don't. This isn't a problem that they have in most of their games. That's something they're hoping to get sorted out soon if they want a chance to come back. Empty set for Bosch on 2nd and 12. Low snap, Bosch quick to the right to Lawson. Looking for a gap to the middle. And he's going to be wrapped up and stopped at the 25. 5-yard gain will make it 3rd and long. Now 8 yards to go on 3rd down from the 25.
Not that many big plays from the Cougars today, so trying to get 8 yards on this drive, they're going to have to get a little creative here.
Now, honestly, this Falcons secondary has been great today. They have not given the Cougars receivers many opportunities to get open deep.
No. Even on that free play that we saw, they were on Corey Randall there like white on rice.
4 receiver set, empty set again. Bosch takes the snap, looking to the left, rolling out under pressure. He's going to let it fly, floater out of bounds. And it'll set up 4th and 8. Again, just nobody that Bosch can find open in the secondary. He's forced to get rid of it before he's brought down. And you might say maybe Bosch could have tried to run for it. Would have gotten rocked pretty quickly. You had a linebacker waiting for him.
Yeah, running that QB spy, they were reading that play. Good on him to sense the pressure and roll out of the pocket and try to keep that play alive there.
4th and 8 for the Cougars, staying out there, going for it. They don't like this range for Diego Marquez. 3 left, 1 right. Brown in the backfield. Brown stepping up in motion. It's now an empty set. Snap. Bosch looking to the left, stepping up, lets it fly, caught by Manuel Mendoza for the first down. A heck of a play from Colton Bosch to keep the drive moving.
There you go. That's one of the biggest plays we've seen all game from them, trying to get that first down. That was just a good read, good patience in the pocket.
And first down by any means necessary. Pocket closed behind, step up, jump shot to Mendoza. And it's 1st and goal for the first time today. Cougars 10 yards away from the end zone. 2 left, 2 right. Brown in the backfield. Low snap, handoff to Brown, trying to fight his way up the middle, and he'll pick up 4 yards.
Another low slap by the freshman center there.
And we've seen a lot of that today.
Good recovery by Colton Bosch to keep that play alive.
Yeah, and stuff like that. That's not a fix that's easy to make mid-game, so it's something the Cougars are going to have to pretty much be dealing with today. 2 men to either side. Snap, Bosch, handoff to Brown. It's a fake handoff, and the pass is fumbled in the end zone. They're going to say the Cougars were in. So that's a touchdown.
Wow, just in the nick of time too, to keep that touchdown there. Oh, man.
Beautiful play action from Colton Bosch and Jerron Brown. And looked like it was a touchdown.
Out here's,
I believe,
Diego
Tevon
Marquez.
Lawson.
Yeah.
Diego Marquez out for the PAT. And it is low, but it's through to make it a 7 points on the board for the Cougars. They get back in it. 14 points is the deficit still. As you got to look at that touchdown again. Play action play. Beautiful play action fake. And then Lawson makes the catch right on the goal line. Has it stripped from him. But they say it's in the end zone. And the Cougars grateful that it is, because when they even score a touchdown, they can't do it without making the hearts pound today in River Forest.
Absolutely. The first full drive by the offense there, 70 yards, pretty impressive. That's exactly the kickstart and the catalyst that you need for the offense there. Try to keep your defense on the sidelines, rested up to get out there and actually get to Roman Funk and his offense.
Yeah, and even when they made mistakes, they were able to make up for them, diving back on top of the ball, making a good play the next play. Again, first down by any means necessary. 2 fourth-down conversions on that drive. And the Cougars on the board for the first time today. Pagenkopf out for the kickoff. Back to receive is Jason Leonard and Victor Watson Jr. as Pagenkopf sends it over to Leonard at the 16. Leonard, he'll take it to the right side, looking for a gap, almost tripped up, staying on his feet, just looking for a way to go now. He's cutting to the left. He's moving upfield. Finally brought down at the 33, but there's a flag out behind the play, and that'll probably go against the Falcons. And, yep, you see that Falcons offense. They're not moving up past the 30. It's a holding call on the Falcons, so 10 yards from the spot of the foul, but it's first down as Roman Funk will lead his offense back out onto the field. Roman Funk's very good day so far. 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 78 completion percentage. And perhaps the biggest part of this Falcons offense, they've capitalized on those Cougar mistakes every single time.
Absolutely. Getting those points off turnovers that they have gotten have just been the big key for the Falcons here.
First and 10 at the 10-yard line for Roman Funk and his offense. They would love to put the Cougars away before halftime, as they'll take possession for the first time in this half. Cougar, the long drive to close out the first quarter and start the second quarter. Cougars showing blitz. Snap, it is a blitz. Funk looking to the right. Pass incomplete, tipped up off the hands of Jason Leonard. So the man can make mistakes, as it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Falcons.
Aiden Hatchett there on the coverage. Slightly late on the pickup there, but good read for him to actually make that move forward and put a little pressure on the receiver.
Man, that's got to be a sigh of relief for this Cougars defense. That Funk to Leonard connection has been electric so far today. 69 yards for Leonard, the first incompletion on a target today of the day. Funk looking deep to the right. Now he's looking middle. Pass caught over the middle by Cowell. A heck of a catch by the junior. And he's brought down short of the first down marker, but it's 3rd and 1 to go.
And he's had all time that he wanted in the world in that pocket. He sat there comfortably, made his reads. It was just a good throw and a good catch as well.
Yeah, Cal did a great job of extending the play and fighting for those extra yards. Those extra yards matter because now there's only 1 yard to go. As you put in your short yardage man, Asher Thomas into the backfield. 2 left, 1 right for Funk. Snap, Funk, handoff to Thomas, fighting his way forward, and it's enough for the first down.
Oh, just squeaking it past the first down there.
I'll give it 2 yards on the play, so it'll be 1st and 10, just past the 20 for the Falcons.
Cougars got 2 sacks on the game now. This would be a big drive here on this first down if they can get another one.
There's a man in motion. Snap, handoff to Thomas. Looking for a gap to the right. It's actually Pugh who takes the handoff. And Pugh picks up 4 yards on the run. Makes it 2nd and 6 at the 25. As that pile is slow to get up. A lot of men falling in. As Concordia, Wisconsin. It is a backfield by committee for the Falcons, and it has been working out. Pugh staying in the game. Cowell in motion again. There's the snap. Funk dropping back deep to the right. Pass caught. And finally brought down at the 46 is Victor Watson Jr.
About a 25-yard pickup on that one there. Just shows the Cougars secondary just not really in it to actually win the game here. And so that's just another tough defensive give up for the Cougars.
Yeah, these routes that are getting drawn up are just breaking off of the coverage so easily for the Falcons. 1 receiver to either side. Snap, handoff to Thomas. Thomas has a gap up the middle. Still going. Asher Thomas on his feet all the way to the 29-yard line. A big 21-yard pickup on 1st down. And the Falcons are rolling into Cougar territory.
That's 2 big plays in a row, Jonathan.
You can see that Cougar defense maybe starting to get a little bit tired.
Starting to make some substitutions here. Yeah.
1st and 10, 29 yards out from the end zone. Funk, handoff to Watson Jr. around the back. Nobody between Watson and the end zone, and coming over from the backfield to bring him down was Aiden Hatchett. A good recovery from the secondary on a great play design from this Concordia, Wisconsin offense. Sets up the Falcons in the red zone once again. Two right, 1 left for Funk. He'll take the snap. Looking middle, pass, broken up. Looking for Leonard. It was behind him, and Jonathan Unks is there to bat it down.
That was a great play by the defensive back there. It's what you needed on 1st down. Nice 1st down stop.
And Roman Funk looking for his favorite target. And the Cougars putting their most experienced defensive back on him, as they'll send Jason Leonard over to the right side now, away from Ungst. 2 receivers right, no one left. Here's a snap, handoff to Thomas up the middle, and it'll be a very, very short gain, maybe a yard on the play for Thomas, and it'll be 3rd and 9.
3rd and long on this one. You got to expect Roman Funk's going to try to be looking for Leonard on a throw here, or trying to at least get some yardage here. They've been able to do it all game.
Yeah, I mean, you'd put your money on Jason Leonard. That 3rd down connection has been automatic for them, like you mentioned, as they move Leonard over.
You can hear the fans here starting to get loud on this 3rd down.
There's the snap. Funk looking left to Leonard. End zone! Touchdown!
He had his eyes locked on him the entire time. He was not making another read there.
Goal line fade from 10 yards out.
A perfectly thrown ball.
Jonathan Unks was confident that it was incomplete. He is not happy the officials gave it to him. And he's also probably not happy that he got beat on what was honestly a fantastic catch from Leonard and a perfectly placed throw from Funk. As Brennan puts it up, this one splits the uprights, and it's 28-7, Falcons in front. And there you go. Leonard out to the left, high point over the shoulder of Unkst. And Leonard's able to bring it down as he falls out of the corner, very close to the sideline. As Jason Leonard continues a fantastic day. 5 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That connection between him and Roman Funk, like you mentioned earlier, Jonathan, has just been absolutely automatic. And that's something that the defense certainly has to look at here with their defensive coordinator that you mentioned. Is coming off a really good season last year with St. Norbert's, Charlie Druick.
Yeah, and the Cougars, that's an adjustment you can make at halftime, but you need to survive to halftime to even have a chance after that. And right now, the Cougars not on track for that. They trail by 21 already with 5.5 to go in the first half. Brennan out for the kickoff. Lugo and Lawson back to receive. That'll go to Lawson. Gets under it. And he'll go over to the left. Not able to break through any space. He's brought down at the 21. And the Cougars, good drive last time. Long drive last time. And you'll take that now. But at some point, you need to find a way to start getting those big plays working that this team loves to use, as Coach Hankins has talked about. That's their dessert. That's their cherry on top. But you're going to need them if you want a chance to claw back in from this deficit.
Definitely. And they used every down they possibly could. They had 2 fourth-down conversions last drive. So trying to get a little more big plays here, trying to keep those first downs going so you're not stuck on a 3rd and long or a 4th and long like they were last time.
First and 10 from the 21 as Colton Bosch takes his team back out there. Another low snap, handoff to Brown as he's brought down after a 4-yard gain, 5-yard gain. It'll set up 2nd and 5 to go.
Again, another good recovery by Colton Bosch on that snap. To get to Jerron Brown to actually just keep that play going.
Yeah, that's something that even then you recover, you get the playoff, but it's still a precious half-second loss in the time you have to take to get it off the ground and get it up to your running back.
Absolutely. Any sort of RPO option that may be going out there is going to be super tough with those kinds of snaps.
Brown fighting his way forward off the handoff, and he gets to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1 to go for Concordia Chicago. As
Looks like got injury out on the field here.
Ben Hardy, the right guard for the Cougars, slow to get up. And he'll be able to start walking off under his own power with a limp.
That's all I just have to see. He was out there. He's been working hard all game.
And Ben Hardy, he's been solid today. He's also one of the captains of this offense. He is one of the emotional cores of this team.
Yeah, being an offensive captain, kind of going down with that injury, that's got to be tough. He's limping a little bit right now, kind of trying to walk it off. Really hope the bath water for those ice baths post-game is going to help get right.
3rd and 1. Snap. Bosch keeps it. Floater up the middle. Lawson has it. No one in front of him. It's a foot race. 20, 10, to the house. Kevon Lawson.
There you go.
70 yards.
That's a fantastic read by Colton Bosch. And what a run. What an absolute run. No one behind him. He was just on his own like a drag race, man.
And you mentioned it. Fantastic read. The Falcons send everybody. And Lawson just slips through into the secondary. The Cougars get their big play. Out for the PAT is Diego Marquez. It's low, but once again through.
Got 4 minutes left in the half here. That's plenty of time for the Falcons to try to string together another drive. So the defense for the Cougars certainly has to lock up here.
Absolutely, but what they do get off of that is some momentum, and that's something this Cougars team desperately needed. A day where that entire first quarter, a tale of the Cougars beating themselves, and now you get the vibes back. You get a big, explosive play.
Absolutely.
And you can feel it a bit in Concordia Stadium. Those vibes are back up again, and this team believes they have a shot again, as Vincent Pagenkopf will head out to kick it off. And like you mentioned, that defense, they need to step up. They have stepped up in that first quarter. The Cougars offense wasn't able to capitalize on it, though. So this defense, now that those vibes are back a bit, got to hope they can step up again.
Absolutely. I think it really comes down to that linebacking core, maintaining that their positions, their reads, their assignments, to try to lock down the receivers as well as the running game here for the Falcons. And that run game has really opened up the passing game, specifically between Roman Funk and Leonard.
Pagenkopf sends it away. That's going over to Watson Jr. He'll take it around the 10. Now look to the middle right, trying to fight his way up the straight away. And he is stopped. Chase Hankins loves that hit to stop Watson. And that's where Roman Funk will bring his team back out onto the field. 1st and 10 at the 30. Looks like they'll mark it at the 33. That's where Roman Funk will take his team back out there. Last drive for the Falcons was a long one, 90 yards, all the way from their own 10. And if they can get a quick one fired off here, put more points up on the board, even then, maybe a slow one, you could run out all the clock for the first half.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how the head coach for the Falcons here, Greg Eder, really runs this offensive drive. Will they try to get a quick score or try to run it out all the way to the end?
1st and 10 at the 31. One receiver to either side. Here's a snap. Handoff to Hinton. Hinton finds a gap to the right, and he'll pick up 5 on the run.
As we pass the 4-minute mark left in the second half.
And the Cougars do get the ball back. They do get the ball to start in the second half. So if you can keep at minimum, you want to keep the Falcons off the board.
Absolutely.
On this drive. Keep your team within 2 scores for that second half when you start with possession. 2nd and 5 from the 36. There's the snap. Funk looking middle. Short pass! Oh! Picked off! Diving is Caden Strahr, and the Cougars force the turnover! The freshman having himself a day!
What a game he's been having. He had a sack in the first quarter. Now that absolutely athletic catch there for the interception. That's Roman's second interception of the day. Like we mentioned, the defense stepping up can get the offense back on the field. We got 3.5 minutes left in the second quarter here. If they can put some points on the board going into halftime, that's the momentum that the Cougars certainly need right here.
Any means necessary. And Strahr laying it all out on the field to get that pick. And the Cougars offense and Colton Bosch back out there. Empty set, 4 left, 1 right. Here's a snap. Bosch dropping back. A lot of time rolling out to the right. Lets it fly deep. Incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 41. Again, you go back to that interception, and honestly, it was a great play, great drawn-up route for Cameron Pierre up the middle. And Funk, he put the heater on it, and it just was a bit out in front, a bit high, and Pierre knocks it up into the air, and Strahr picks it down. Now Lawson on the screen, still going down the sideline before he steps out of bounds at the 24. And the Cougars still in business, 1st and 10 for Concordia Chicago.
That is just 2 great runs by Lawson there to keep drives alive, get those yards after the catch.
Yeah, Kevon Lawson now on the day up to 97 yards through the air. There's Jackson in motion. Bosch takes the snap, handoff to Brown, trying to find a gap to the left side. And he won't make it past the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 24.
Has 17 seconds left here, a little 2-minute.
Yep. And it looks like Coach Hankins not in too much of a rush to get his offense moving before the 2-minute warning. And it looks like they'll be content to wait it out. We head to the 2-minute warning. Cougars, they still trail by 14, but they're fighting their way back. It's 1st and 2nd and 10 from the 24 when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. We're back on the Cougar Sports Network. 2-minute warning done. Cougars have 2nd and 10 at the Wisconsin 24 as they try and get more points up on the board before halftime.
2nd and 10, clock management here is going to be key to get to the end of the half.
Bosch, quick pass to Martinez, who's able to make the grab for a short gain. It'll be 3rd and 7 to go from the 21.
That was a good reception. Immediately hit right after he caught it, so good job holding on to that ball.
Like you mentioned, clock management's key. Even if you have to settle for a field goal, you don't want to leave much time on the board for Roman Funk to try and respond.
Especially with the way that he's carved up the defense here. We can see some good defensive stops, but the offense here has to be smart with the ball and clock management.
Bosch rolling out to the left, nowhere to go, still on his feet. Still looking, middle, picked off.
He had a good idea there. Great job keeping the play alive, rolling in and out of the pocket. And he had a good read there trying to throw, but he was just a little late on that, and the defense just read it just a little too quickly.
Yeah, Caden Wasinga read that like a book, jumps in front of Corey Randall. And, just Bosch taking a bit too much time to decide where he wanted to go with that.
Minute 13 left here. It's going to be a huge defensive stop for the Cougars.
So now it's back to keep the Falcons off the board before the second half. Keep it at 14. Here's a snap. Funk looking to the middle, looking deep, caught, incomplete. Whew. Making that call before it even happened. Leonard wide open.
And he knew as soon as that ball went through his hands, he knew he had to catch that. You saw his reaction there.
Yeah, you got to catch that, and it's that thing with the receiver. You can get a hand on it. If it's in your reach, that's on you, but it was behind him. So Funk a little off the mark. Not the easiest play in the world. But still dropped by Leonard. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Snap, Funk looking to the right, incomplete. And they're going to throw a flag on it.
That looked like great coverage by Jordan Lacey there. I'd be curious to see what the call from the officials here is going to be. I
don't like that call.
That's tough.
That's a call. That's a tough call to make, especially within that 5 yards.
Yeah.
You're allowed to make contact with the receiver within 5 yards. That's within that blocking range.
You know, vision insurance isn't really covered under the referee's health insurance here, so we'll give him a break on that. But that is a very tough call, a very questionable call.
Yeah, Falcons, they'll take advantage of it. 1st and 10, new set of downs from the 32, still in their own territory. Snap. And Funk will keep it himself. Won't get the first down. He goes down at the 39. Clock will stay running. It'll be 2nd and 3 to go. Snap, Funk under pressure. Gonna step up himself, and he's sacked.
That was another flag on the field. Good job by the freshman linebacker Ship there to bring him down. See the officials conversing here. See what the call on the field is.
And it looks like they're asking the Cougars coaching staff about it, so that will go against the Falcons, I believe, and it is the Falcons offense backing up. So the Cougars, Ship gets the sack. Won't be a sack on his record. It actually is somewhat of a tough call for Chase Hankins. If you take the penalty call, it's 2nd down, but 10 yards further back. If you don't take it, you have the 3-yard loss off the sack, and it's 3rd down.
I think, yeah, with 38 seconds left here, I think you guys got to back him up.
Yep. And the officials, long conversation with Coach Hankins to figure out what he wants to do. And, yeah, they'll just take it back up, the Falcons. And, again, just a great job of breaking through into the backfield and forcing not just a sack, but also you force holding penalties.
Absolutely.
By forcing a tough play on the defense. 2nd and 15 to go for Roman Funk. Like you mentioned, Alex, 38 seconds to go. Clock gets running again. Funk takes the snap. Funk looking to the right. Pass! Incomplete. Broken up by Hagen Washer.
What a great breakup, especially after that 10-yard penalty backing up. Now you're 3rd and long. That is exactly what you needed.
Yeah, this Cougars secondary doing a better job of sticking with these Wisconsin receivers so far in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, Funk's had a couple missed throws on this drive here. The one to Leonard where it was just behind him, and that one was just a little short of his receiver.
And we'll get a timeout called by Coach Chase Hankins. Make sure they have a good game plan and they know what to do. Because Concordia, Wisconsin, they've gotten pinned in a hole in this half before, and they've worked out of it.
Yeah.
So you don't want to let a big play come through and turn into points on the board before halftime.
Especially 3rd and 15 to go. If you stop them, you give them a 4th and 5 or maybe even a little more.
Yep.
That really puts them in a bind, especially with just 30 seconds left here in the half.
Roman Funk, fantastic day so far. 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's cooled off a bit.
Absolutely.
In the last 10 minutes of this 2nd quarter. But a lot of that's been these teams have been taking longer drives, and as this Wisconsin defense and Funk's have been cooling off, not playing worse per se, this Cougars defense, especially the secondary, has been stepping up more.
Yeah, and you look at Caden Stroher as well. I mean, he's been the defensive player that has their number here in the first half. You see him out on the field there.
3rd and long for the Falcons. Pugh in the backfield, 2 receivers to either side for Funk. Snap, Funk dropping back, looking right, pass caught by Pugh on the screen. Pugh on the sideline, forced out of bounds. And it'll be 4th down.
Fourth and about 3 here or so.
Looked like Coach...
4th and 4, they're going to mark it.
Yeah, it looked like Coach Druick wanted the clock to keep running. And there's the punt team. You got to punt here. It's a short yardage situation, but you can't risk turning the ball over in your own territory with this short time left on the clock.
Absolutely, especially with the way the Falcons, or excuse me, the Cougars offense has been playing the past couple drives. Certainly cannot allow that.
Back to receive the punt is Josiah Lugo. Out for the punt is Max Mashonsky. Second time we've seen him today. Last time he punted, Lugo muffed it. And this
some
time,
pressure there.
Mashonsky barely able to get it off. Now take a friendly bounce for the Cougars, rolling out of bounds at the 27. With 16 seconds left on the clock, Colton Bosch will take his offense back out on the field. Alex, if you're calling the plays here, do you want to take a shot before half, or do you just want to kneel it out?
I mean, you got two timeouts left here, so try to string together maybe a couple short passes here, trying to look for the sidelines as well, save some of those timeouts, and then you can try to get a big play down the field here. But especially where you're at in your own territory, with only 16 seconds left, you have to be very smart with the ball. No turnovers here, like we saw at the beginning of the game.
Well, the Cougars, they're going empty set. 4 receivers right, 1 left for Colton Bosch. There's a whistle to start playing. Snap. Bosch has some time. Looking to the right to Lawson. Makes a catch on the sideline. Gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 10 seconds left in the half. There's your security blanket. Short gain, 6 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, this CUW defense playing prevent, only rushing 3. Everyone else, they're following the verts into the secondary. So the Cougars, they'll go empty set and flip it. Randall, the only receiver, to the right. Everyone else to the left. Snap. Bosch quick to the left to Lawson, who's tripped up and goes down.
So they might just let the clock run out here.
That'll do it. We get out of the first half. It's Concordia, Wisconsin leading Concordia, Chicago 28-14 in what has been a chaotic rivalry matchup so far in River Forest. We'll be back before half number 2 to go through everything that happened in half number 1 and get ready for what should be an electric second half between the Falcons and the Cougars here on the Cougar Sports Network.
That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network and River Forest for half number 2 between the Cougars and the Falcons. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network here with Alex Abbott. As we get ready to go in half number 2, Falcons lead 28-14 over the Cougars, who in what has been a exciting and chaotic game so far. The Falcons put up 21 points in the first half. The Cougars could not hold on to the ball to save their life in that first quarter. And then quarter number 2, the Cougars start to put on a show, put up 2 touchdowns to the Falcons 1, and bring it within 14, and they'll start out the second half here. As we get going in the second half, Alex, the Cougars, they have some momentum coming out of that first half. What are some adjustments you saw from how that first half went that you would make here in half number 2?
Yeah, absolutely. If I was Chase Hankins in that locker room talking to the team, is the offense, first and foremost, like you mentioned, is the turnovers. You have to hang on to the ball. If you start giving up the ball, short return there by Lawson. But if you start giving up the ball, especially in your own part of the field, that's just how you get those easy points. And we saw that in the first quarter. They tightened it up in the second quarter a little bit. Secondly, you've seen those low snaps.
Yep.
You're not allowing any RPO options there with any low snaps. Some saves there by the quarterback, but you have to tighten that up, especially to get a good handoff, as well as kind of open up a little bit of that running and passing game.
Absolutely. And we'll get going here in half number 2 as Colton Bosch leads his offense back out of the field, pinned back at the Cougars' own 16-yard line. So a long ways to go on this drive for Colton Bosch and his offense. Low snap again, handoff to Brown, looking out to the left, and Brown going to be brought down in the backfield for a big loss.
That's a tough play, especially coming out of the halftime. You want to get that first play, get some good yardage, at least get back to the line of scrimmage instead of losing, 6 yards now on the play?
Yeah. So now it's second and long for the Cougars, pinned way back in your own territory, now at the 10. And you don't want to risk the turnover, but Coach Hankins might be looking to the air now with the long down distance to go.
I like to see Corey Randall, receiver. He's only got 1 reception for 5 yards, kind of wandering out there like a traveler in like ancient Mesopotamia. He's averaging 30 yards per game, so I'd like to see him get a little more action there. He's got his hand up. He's going down.
Looking to Jackson on the right side. Wes Jackson bouncing around and stopped just past the line of scrimmage at the 14. Short gain, still third and very long for the Cougars. And again, you see a lot of time for Colton Bosch, but no openings in the secondary.
Absolutely. And going back to the beginning of the keys of the game is talk about the offensive line giving protection for not only the passing game, but also trying to hammer down the trenches for the run game as well. And we've seen this first drive here not so well on the running game, but they definitely did lock it up at the end of the first half there.
Here's the snap. Bosch, play action. Looking deep to the left. Has Jackson dropped!
Oh!
Wes Jackson wide open for a first down, and he can't bring it in.
And that is tough. After that catch that he had on the sideline there, with almost nowhere to run, and he was wide open on that. He definitely had some yards after that catch he could have had. That's a tough one for the junior.
That's a catch you just can't drop. A perfectly thrown ball on the numbers from Bosch. And now Dennis Vanderplow punting from deep in his own territory. That'll be received around the 45 as Nick Cowell's brought down right there.
Another tackle for Caden Strower on that. He's been all over the field all game. He's having one heck of a game for himself right now.
And now that Cougars defense coming back out on the field, they're going to need to come up big on this drive after the offense goes 3 and out to start the half.
All right, and the Falcons offense lining up here. Roan Funk in the shotgun. There's a snap, handoff, the fake throw, run to the right. And about a 3-yard pickup for Ashar Thomas. And the Cougars defense getting set back up. You see James Leonard all the way to the left side. Those pink gloves on, see if he can get himself a catch. That Funk to Leonard connection has been the key to the offense for the first half. Another run up the middle, about another 3-yard game for Ashar Thomas.
So 3rd and about mid to go for this Falcons offense, and we've actually seen this a lot today. This Cougars defense has done a great job on 1st and 2nd down all day long, but they have struggled a bit on those 3rd down stops.
Yeah, 2 runs. I'd like to see Roman Funk here probably going through the air for a short pass, and they have been really good on those short passes in the first half. The Cougars defense here looks like they're in man coverage.
And Funk looking left for Leonard. Pass caught! Who else?
There it is, just like we were talking, that Funk-Leonard connection has been the key to the offense on that 3rd down. That is a momentum boost for the Falcons for sure.
And at some point, you just got to start pressing Leonard on every down.
Yeah, we've seen his speed too on the fade route that he had for his touchdown, his 2nd touchdown pass out in the end zone. He's got the speed to beat you down the field, so if you press him, you're opening up that risk.
Another 3rd down conversion for the Falcons. They're 6 for 8 on the day now. Snap, Funk, short pass to the tight end, who's brought down out of bounds for a nice 7-yard gain into the red zone.
Yeah, 6 for 8 on the 3rd downs. That's a stark improvement. Only 38% on the year for him. So that is where they are excelling in their offensive game today.
Now line up 3 receivers left, none to the right, stacked box with Pugh in the backfield. Funk, low snap, handoff to Pugh up the middle. And no gain for Pugh. Actually loses a yard.
Here we go, another 3rd and mid here, 3rd and 4 it looks like.
And it's kind of what we talked about. Again, the Cougars good. They're doing great holding the Falcons to short gains when they try to go for a short pass or they try to go on the ground. It's those passes beyond 10 yards that they're struggling with right now. 3rd and 4 to go for Concordia, Wisconsin.
A single coverage on Leonard there to the left side.
He is being pressed by Hatchett this time. Snap, Funk rolling out to the left. He's looking for Leonard. Short pass, caught on the sideline. Leonard into the end zone for the touchdown.
Michael Harris there on the defensive back there. He just gave up on that play after Leonard beat him there. You can tell he just did not have the drive to finish that tackle there. So that's a tough look for the Cougars.
Blown defense in the secondary by Concordia, Chicago. And it makes it 34 on the day for the Falcons. As Brennan comes out for the PAT. Snap, kicks up, and it's good. Makes it a 35-14 game as we get another look at that play. And Funk extending the play on the rollout. And you'll see Leonard on the near side just settles in on the comebacker, and no one tracks back to cover him.
Yeah, he had his eyes hooked on Leonard the entire time. He was not looking to any other receiver there. So, Jonathan, coming out of the half here, you have a one drive, a 4-and-out by the offense.
Yeah.
If you are the head coach here, Chase Hankins, in the locker room at halftime, what do you tell your offense to try to get them back into this game for the second half?
To get them back into the game for the second half, tell them get them back into the game right now on the bench. You got to tell them, be aggressive and be consistent. That's kind of what's been killing the Cougars today, is that lack of consistency. They've been making the plays. They've been doing the basic. They've been doing the important stuff. They've been getting the routes, but they haven't been doing the fundamentals. You're dropping passes. You're fumbling the ball. You're tripping. That's what's costing you right now. That's why you're down so big against the Falcons, and that's a hole that's tough to dig out of. So that's part of it, is clean up the fundies, be clean, play consistent football. The other end of it is have a memory of a goldfish, and don't look at the scoreboard. Don't think back to all of those turnovers you've had and just focus on scoring one touchdown at a time, because that's the most that you can do.
Absolutely. And you had mentioned the fundamentals. I mean, the mistakes that the Cougars are making are all part of the mental game. They are getting physically outmatched very lightly by the receiver Leonard there with his speed and his agility, but all the turnovers, the dropped passes, it's all mental. You can't spell fundamental without mentals, right?
First and 10 from the 25 after the fair catch. Low snap, handoff to Brown up the middle for a short 2-yard gain. So that's up 2nd and 8 from the 27. Jason Leonard now 113 yards on 7 catches and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jerron Brown, 127 yards on the ground. It doesn't quite feel like it, though. He's gotten 14 touches now. So good stat line for him. He averages 107 yards a game. But it certainly just doesn't feel like it with the flow and the motion of this offense.
And that's something that, Coach Hankins has talked about. He's finishing drives, playing complete drives. And we talked about before the game, playing a complete game of football from the first quarter to the second quarter. And there's another fumbled snap. Brown will be brought down for a loss after a low snap gets past Bosch. And it still be 3rd and long for the Cougars. Third and 12, Cougars going to probably have to look to the air. If you can't score on this drive, you're down 20 run right now. That'll set a pretty difficult gap to come back from.
Yeah, and Kevon Lawson's been big in this game. You got to expect that Bosch is going to be looking towards him for not only his catching ability, but his speed to generate yards after this catch.
Bosch dropping back under pressure, lets it fly deep for Lawson! Pass caught! Lawson at the 30, the 20, 10, touchdown Cougars! Kevon Lawson from even deeper this time, and the Cougars get back on the board.
And that pass, that was a perfect pass, a great route by Kevon Lawson. And I've made a lot of old ancient references here with the walls of Babylon, Mesopotamia. Now I'm going to say I'm Nostradamus. I'm just going to say I called that touchdown. But that was a fantastic play. And getting back after that 4 and out, that is exactly what this offense needed.
77 yards on the pass. As Diego Marquez out for the PAT, and that's blocked.
Yikes.
So Cougars down 15 after block PAT. Diego Marquez has been kicking them low all day. Can't get it through the blockers that time. But here you go again. Like you mentioned, Alex, just a perfect route from Kevon Lawson to split the coverage in the secondary and get that small gap, that small bit of space that he needs to get the ball, but then break free down the sideline.
Yeah, and he certainly has the speed to do it.
And I think, again, full credit to Colton Bosch on that throw. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed. Lawson didn't miss a step, didn't change direction at all to make that catch. 77 yards. Kevon Lawson now on the day. 7 catches, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So Jason Leonard having a fantastic day for the Falcons. Kevon Lawson somehow having a better one.
And next up on the receiving list, Wesley Jackson here, only 3 receptions for 19 yards. So there is a huge disparity in the receiving core of today. It'd be interesting to see if they can get some more players involved in that, try to open up this offense.
And here goes Victor Watson Jr., wrapped up and brought down by the Cougars at the 31-yard line. You mentioned that disparity on the receiving for the Cougars. It's the same thing for the Falcons. Not as bad, but still 113 yards for Leonard. Your next closest is Allen, who has 30 yards off of 1 catch. You got 21 yards. There's not a lot of other receivers besides Leonard having big days for the Falcons either. So it's really number one option for both of these teams.
Absolutely, and the senior defensive back, Jonathan Ungst, is working his tail off there on that matchup with Leonard all day today.
As we speak of Leonard on the near side, snap, handoff up the middle to Pugh, who is going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. Great play from Devine Shearer to strap him up by the ankles. As there's a Cougar down on the field. Training staff called out to check on him. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Falcons when we come back. That's Zane Amir down for the Cougars as Coach Jenkins goes out to check on him. We'll take a break as they check on Amir. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network right after this. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Zane Amir helped over to the table on the sideline. And Amir, he's been one of those standout freshmen for the Cougars this season. That's a big loss to Charlie Druick's defense. 2nd and 10 for the Falcons at the 32. As Funk takes snap, looking short to the right. Pass caught by Watson for the first down.
That was a good wrap-up and a good tackle there on the defense by Givens Jr., try to stop him where he caught the ball versus trying to get any more yards there after the catch.
Again, Falcons getting another receiver involved, which will be great for this Concordia, Wisconsin team. That would really help them break this open. As they'll line up 2 receivers left, 1 right. There's Cowell in motion. Snap, Funk under pressure, lets it fly to the middle, broken up by Ungst. And Funk hit hard as he let that fly. And again, that pass just a bit out in front, and Ungst is able to reach forwards and slap it down. That's something we've been seeing from Funk all day. He loves to lead his receivers, and he has an absolute howitzer for a right arm. But the problem is that howitzer has 1 firing speed.
That's it.
And there's no touch on these passes. So if you get out ahead of your receivers, sometimes those catches can be hard to make. Handoff to Thomas. Has a gap up the middle. Asher Thomas brought down at the 43.
Yeah, just seeing that explosiveness after the scrimmage there, after the line of scrimmage, to break through into the linebacking in the secondary. That was just a good run, good block protection, from the offensive line of the Falcons.
1st and 10 from the 43. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Thomas in the backfield. Here's the snap. Funk to the right, caught by Watson again. Deja vu. As Victor Watson runs the post and gets free.
Just like we talked about, getting other receivers involved in the passing game here. That's going to be key for the Falcons, and we'll see if the Cougars can actually come back and do it themselves on their next run on the offense here.
Falcons knocking on the door of the red zone. Two receivers right, 1 left. Thomas in the backfield lined up to the left of Funk. Victor Watson now, we just talked about a missed disparity in receiving yards. He's now up to 52 on the day. Funk looking for Leonard in the end zone, wide open.
Another blown coverage by Jonathan Ungst. That one is tough to see.
Ooh.
Great route, though, and an even better pass by Funk.
44th touchdown catch of the day for Jason Leonard. And, yeah, you mentioned just cooks Ungst on the route. Fakes the in, goes outside. And all it needs is Funk to just drop it within reaching distance, and he does.
Yeah, great touch by
Yep.
Funk, putting that nice fade route. I mean, you mentioned earlier you got one speed with the howitzer, but that was a good changeup to see from Funk in order to get that ball into the end zone.
Brennan trying to make it a 22-point lead, and he will not. Wide right on the PAT, so it's 41-20. Concordia, Wisconsin leading by 21. And here's that touchdown pass again. Watch the left side. It's ISO, Leonard, and Ongst. And Ongst just sells out on the inside. Nothing covering Leonard in the end zone.
That's his, third touchdown of the day? No, fourth touchdown.
138 yards, 4 touchdowns. Leonard having himself a game, putting up an argument to continue a Concordia, Wisconsin Offensive Player of the Week run. And I'm going to be honest, 138 yards, 4 touchdowns from a receiver is going to be a tough mark to beat.
Oh, absolutely.
And at some point, I mean, you don't want to leave those other receivers open. Watson is a great receiver. We saw him get involved on that drive. At some point, you almost have to think about double teaming Leonard on these routes. Brennan will send it away. That's going to Lawson. And it's going out of bounds.
All right.
Too much hook on it, so the Cougars will take possession at the 40. And that's where Colton Bosch will lead his offense back out onto the field, looking to respond and trade touchdown for touchdown with the Falcons. Cougars up to 20 on the day. Colton Bosch, he's putting up a solid numbers himself. 217 yards, 3 touchdowns to just 1 interception and a 65 completion percentage. And, I mean, like you mentioned, Jerron Brown, he has very good numbers, averaging 8.3 yards a carry, 125 yards.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't felt like it. We haven't seen many explosive runs for long gains from him, but that's the name of the game apparently for Jerron Brown, is to keep it on the ground and get those 6-7 yards at a time.
So I think the stats might actually be off. It does say we have an 87-yard rush from Jerron Brown today, which I don't believe we have, but Brown, good run here, chopping his way up the middle for a 10-yard gain.
There you go.
So he might not have an 87-yard rush today, but he picks up an 11-yard rush and a first down there.
87 yards, I think we would remember that one.
So the Cougars first down on their first play of the drive. And something of note that we didn't touch on from the end of that first half, Ben Hardy is out on the field, so the Cougars do get one of their starters back on the offensive line. 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight formation. Jackson in motion, snap. They'll go to Brown again. This time he's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and he'll fall forward to pick up a yard. 2nd and 9 from the 47. And with how volatile this game has been, a 21-point deficit is definitely not out of reach.
Absolutely, especially with the Cougars coming back with 14 points in the second quarter, and then putting 6 on here for the touchdown earlier.
Screen to Lawson on the left side. He's bolting for the sideline. Kevon Lawson, a big gain, and it's a first down.
That's going to be the key moving forward for the offense, is his speed, his ability to get to the outside of the field, turn on the jets, and get those extra 10 to 17.6 yards.
He did step out of bounds, but it was enough for a first down. So 1st and 10 for the Cougars at the 43. We saw it during the Cougars' first touchdown drive of the game. 2 fourth down conversions, first down and yards by any means necessary. And we're seeing that a bit right now from the Cougars, but it's bigger gains, more chunk plays from the offense. Another tight formation, stack receiver set on the right, snap, hand off to Brown, has a gap to the left, and it'll be a 4-yard gain for Jerron Brown. 2nd down past the 40-yard line now.
And defensively for the Falcons, you have Logan Hartman, the linebacker, coming off the Defensive Player of the Week. He's been relatively quiet today. Haven't seen much from him.
Yeah, outside of that 1 interception, this Concordia, Wisconsin defense, there haven't been big plays, but they have been solid. They've been holding the Cougars as much as they need to. Well, there, Colton Bosch Hands it off to Jerron Brown, and Brown can't even get to the line of scrimmage. Wrapped up and brought down by Marquiton Sellers.
Yeah, their secondary is giving up those two long passes to Lawson, and again, that's just a testament to how quick he can run those routes, running those routes to perfection, and then being able to really explode and accelerate in the field there.
3rd and 7 for the Cougars. Same formation. There's Jackson in motion. Snap, Bosch, play action. Has some time, rolling out to the right. Floats it up out of bounds. And it'll be 4th and 7 as here comes Dennis Vanderplow and the punt team.
And that's tough. You got the protection from the offensive line, who did a pretty good job blocking there, and a good job from Bosch to actually roll out of the pocket once he did sense that pressure. And it's just tough, especially on that third and 7, 3rd and 8, if you will, that he couldn't complete.
Yeah. And that's something this Falcons defense is doing great. They know what's coming. And there's a high snap to Vanderplow, and the punt's blocked. Picked up by number 5, Mason Knippel. And he's brought down, but it's going to set the Falcons up in great field position.
And that's tough. Like, going back to the fundamentals, the snaps, we've seen low snaps on offensive from the center, and then high snaps here for the long snapper.
Cougars beating themselves today in River Forest as Roman Funk will lead his offense back out onto the field at the 41-yard line. First and 10 from the 41. 2 left, 1 right. Here's a snap. Handoff from Funk. And there's a new member of that running back committee, Caleb Espinoza. And Espinoza, sophomore out of Pasadena, Texas, will get the first down. We'll call him short out of bounds at the 32. So 2nd and 10, 2nd and 2.
Here's the 4th defensive back on James Leonard there, just trying to mix it up to see what combination works.
There is a snap, play action. Funk's looking for Leonard, and they're going to go for the under. They take the easy pass.
Catch there by Samuel Ferderking, the freshman from Florida. It's his, I think, 2nd or 3rd reception of the day here.
Yeah, you can tell. The Falcons, you run that play. Every time they run that play, it's been a complete pass for 10 or more yards to Leonard. And the Cougars defense, you sell out on the secondary, you sell out on Leonard, and that leaves the under wide open.
Absolutely. Just a well-drawn-up play.
2 receivers left, 1 right, Espinoza in the backfield. Snap, handoff to Espinoza up the middle, who finds a gap for a solid gain. Second and short for the Falcons. Here's a snap, Funk. Handoff to Hinton, and Hinton taken down for a 1-yard loss on the play. Cougars defense going to force a 4th down attempt. 3rd down attempt.
Especially on this 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 right now. Expect Roman Funk to potentially be passing. And we saw 3 sacks from the Cougars in the first half. I'd like to see some pressure at least a little bit here if he does go for the pass.
Two receivers to either side. There's Cowell in motion. Snap, Funk dropping back, looking deep to the right. Pass up and incomplete. Off the hands of Nick Cowell as he tried to dive back for it.
Yeah, the Cougars sent 5 there and got a little bit of pressure on Funk. It was a good throw, but just out of the hands.
Coach Greg Etter, 4th and 5 to go, thinking, why not go for it? But to be fair, your kicker, Kason Brennan, has been struggling today.
Yeah, he's missed 2-point afters.
4th and 5 for the Falcons. There's a man in motion. Here's the snap. Funk, he's rolling out to the left. Pass incomplete.
There you go. That's good defense there. Even if he did catch that ball, it would have been tough for him to get that first down.
And Roman Funk hanging his head as he jogs off the field. He's looking for Cameron Pierre, and Pierre never had a chance for it. Just thrown down to his feet. So the Cougars get the stop on 4th down, hold the gap at 21 points, and with 49 seconds to go in the third quarter. Now head back out onto the field. And you got to say, you're at that point. We said it last time. We'll say it again. You want to, and I mean, you look at the NFL. Comebacks like this are not out of the realm of question. We saw the Broncos pull it off last week against the Giants in the NFL. You want to pull off a comeback. You got to get going now as there's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and you're not going to be coming back with throws like that, unfortunately.
And you do have to say, though, I will say that was probably intentional from Colton Bosch, as you saw Kevon Lawson get rocked as the ball goes over his head. And he makes that catch. He's getting taken down for a loss, most likely.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
2nd and 10 now from the 19-yard line. 4 receivers right, 1 left. Empty set in the backfield. Snap. Bosch dropping back. Has some time. Stepping up. Out to the left. And he's going to let it fly out of bounds.
I like to see him stringing together at least some sort of pass completions here. It's been very sporadic throughout the game of him getting consistent completions to move down the field, especially with, us almost going into the fourth quarter. You definitely need those yards and those completions.
I mean, you can tell the Falcons, they're expecting the pass, and they're only rushing 3 now. They are blocking up the secondary, and it's making it hard for Bosch to find an easy opening. Empty set again. 2 receivers to either side. They bring in Jackson off the edge of the line. Jackson in motion. Snap. Bosch has some time. Lot of time. Going out to the right now. Bosch floats it up out of bounds, and it's going to be 4th and 10.
Yeah, we had 3 receivers in the same spot in the middle of the field there. I don't know if that was a miscommunication or if someone ran an incomplete route there, but that's just tough when you have 3 offensive receivers in the same location on the field.
Not a yard gained, 3 and out for the Cougars, and Dennis Vanderplow comes out to punt it away.
As the offense comes back onto the bench here, Jonathan, what if you were the offensive coach here, what would you be talking to them about? What do you want to see an improvement or a change in the fourth quarter?
Honestly, it's got to come down to confidence, as here goes Nick Cowell staying on his feet, brought down. But, yeah, it's confidence. And, honestly, it's the confidence with Colton Bosch. There comes a point in this game, and there haven't been easy throws for Bosch, and that's kind of tough. Everything's getting drawn up deep. There's no easy, safe completions to take within 5-10 yards. But at the same time, you've just got to take a shot at some point. And we've seen it multiple times today. Bosch, he's waiting for that easy pass, and an opportunity comes, and then it goes. Yep. And you've got to jump on every chance of an opportunity. You say it a lot with soccer when you're talking about shooting a goal. You wait for the perfect shot, you're probably never going to get it. So you've got to take those half-perfect shots, those decent shots, those good shots when you have them. And the same thing comes down to the offense. You've just got to try to make things happen. Thomas.
Absolutely. Getting into that rhythm and getting into that groove, getting those short completions, but just getting those completions strung together, I think could be a really big key for the Cougars offense here.
Thomas, short gain, sets up 2nd down. Falcons score here would put the game away.
Looks like that's the end of the third quarter here.
As we, like you mentioned, Alex, run to an end of the third quarter. They'll change sides down on the field. We'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Center. We'll be back in just a minute for more Cougar football. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network for the fourth and final quarter of today's matchup between the Falcons and the Cougars. 2nd and 8 for Concordia, Wisconsin. Knocking on the door of the Cougars' red zone. Snap, Funk dropping back, looking to the left. Pass to Cowell is complete, and he's brought down immediately. But it's good for a 4 or 5 yard gain. Sets up 3rd and 5 to go.
Another 3rd down for the Falcons, and they've the first half they were pretty good. They were 6 for 8 or 6 for 9, I believe, on the 3rd down conversions in the first half. The second half, not so much.
3rd and 4 to go. 3 right, 1 left. Thomas in the backfield. Cougars showing blitz, and they will blitz. Funk gets rid of it, caught by Pierre, and he trips and falls into the end zone for a touchdown.
Got that pass off just in the nick of time. Still took a big hit there on the blitz, but that's what happens when you start blitzing the linebackers. You leave that middle part of that defense open, and Funk read it and exploited it, unfortunately.
47-20 now as Brennan comes out for the PAT. That's Roman Funk's 6th touchdown pass of the day. He set a program record with 7 last week against Aurora, now tying the old program record with 6 today. And with 14 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, he'll want Coach Etter to keep him out on the field to have a shot at breaking his own record. We'll see if Coach Etter lets that happen.
That's been the story of the day. I mean, 0 rushing touchdowns for the Falcons. So the Cougars, the secondary, and the linebacking core have just been getting picked apart by the Falcons' offense.
Yep. Cougars headed out for the return game again. Lawson and Lugo will be back to receive. Headed out to send it away is Brennan. And speaking of Brennan, he did miss the PAT, so still a rough day kicking for Case and Brennan.
That is a third missed one?
Third missed PAT
that's
of
tough.
the day. So a tough day on not a very windy day, but a cold day in River Forest.
Yeah, nice crisp autumn day.
See those trees starting to get a bit yellow, brown. Got some leaves changing colors as Brennan sends that away. Lawson will take it with a fair catch. And Colton Bosch will lead his offense back out onto the field as the Cougars trail by 27.
Yeah, trying to get this passing game going. The best time is, the best time was at the beginning of the second half where they had the ball after the halftime. The second best time, though, is now to try to at least just get some momentum, move that ball, try to get on the other side of the field. Just they have not been able to do this half.
And again, Concordia, Wisconsin, 3 men on the line, and they'll only rush 3. Bosch rolling out to the left, and he's going to take it himself and slide down at the 28.
That's his first scramble, first rush of the game.
And then, honestly, it's something he could have started doing earlier, as Concordia, Wisconsin's been selling out on pasty.
Yeah, averaging 10 yards rush a game for Colton Bosch. So certainly someone who likes to sit in the pocket and throw it. But as we just saw, when it's smart and when you don't have any receivers open downfield.
2nd and 7 to go. 3 left, 1 right. Bosch takes the snap, dropping back. Short pass caught by Jerron Brown on the check down. He'll pick up 3 and sets up 3rd and 4 to go.
And that was a good, really good catch going from 2nd and 7 or so to now a 3rd and 4. Just try to get closer to that first down marker. Try to get their first down here in the 4th quarter.
Low snap. Bosch dropping back, looking for somewhere to go. He's going to rush it himself and reaches out to 33-yard line. So it's 4th and short.
Looks like offense might be staying on the field. I think given the score,
Yeah.
you got to get some confidence and put some confidence in your offense there to try to get this 4th down conversion.
Yeah, nothing to lose for the Cougars, but they will send out the punt team as Dennis Vanderplow heads out onto the field.
Interesting call here, Jonathan. How do you feel about that, about pulling your offense off the field, especially given the score, trying to string something together versus putting the ball in your defense, so to speak, as we've seen that they have not been able to stop many plays.
And Vanderplow sends that away. I think an element of it is you don't want to say that Coach Hankins is giving up on his team, but you don't want to make it any worse. As
Hey.
here goes
Big punt
Cameron
return.
Pierre all the way up to the Cougars. 42, nearly back to where it was punted from. And it'll be great field position for the Falcons as they come back out. You don't want to say it's giving, but you really just make that call because you don't want to make it any worse.
That is true. That is true.
Already down 27 in a game that is a rivalry matchup. And Concordia, Wisconsin, they have been making a lot of changes in their athletic program, some directly affecting Concordia, Chicago. You look at the Concordia Invitational Tournament basketball program. You look at football and all their sports. Concordia, Wisconsin announcing that they are leaving the NAC for the CCIW in 2 years, and that's something that has been on the mind of these Cougar players, as this is very well could be the last time the Falcons play in River Forest for the foreseeable future, as that rushing attempt is brought down short, and Coach Etter will not give Roman Funk a chance to break his own record. They send out the backup quarterback, Ben Jimenez, the freshman from Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, talking about switching conferences, they made that call about a month ago, you said, right? So that's still pretty fresh.
Mm-hmm. And the CCIW, a much tougher conference than the NAC. Some big names on the national level in that conference. Wheaton University plays there, as does your reigning national champs and current number 1 overall, North Central.
Well, the way they've been playing today, especially throughout the year, being 5-0 in the conference, it looks like they're going to get some better competition out there. So good for them to actually step up and try to get a better better football program for them to go against.
3rd and 7 to go for the Falcons. There's the snap. Jimenez hands it off to Hinton. Hinton on the outside edge, barreling through for a first down. 1st and 10 Falcons up to the 26-yard line. A 1st and 10 CU dub. Falcons looking to crack 50 on the board for the 2nd game in a row.
Yeah, in their last game, 54-45 against Aurora University, they put up a little more of an offensive fight than the Cougars have been doing tonight.
There's another run up the middle, this time with Espinoza, and Espinoza able to pick up 9 on the play. That'll be 2nd and 1 to go for Concordia, Wisconsin. And the Falcons very much in the driver's seat for the conference championship right now. And it's not much of a tough road for the Falcons after this. Concordia, Wisconsin will head out of River Forest to then take on the 2 teams at the bottom of the conference in their final 2 games of the year. They go back home, take on Rockford, the only team in the NAC without a win yet, to take on, and then we'll take a bye week before they play Eureka at home, the other team in the NAC at the bottom of the conference whose only win is against Rockford. So the Falcons sitting pretty as they look to secure their first conference championship in a hot minute and dethrone Aurora University. As there's a personal foul on the Cougars that will move the Falcons within the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I kind of missed what happened there, Jonathan.
It looked like one of the Falcons' helmets went off, so if I had to guess, somewhere in there was a face mask. Wasn't much of a ruckus about it. Neither team too crazed by what happened on the field. Stacked box for the Falcons. Here's a snap, handoff to Espinoza up the middle. And he'll pick up a yard on the play. Makes it 2nd and goal from about 7 out. .9:45 to go in the game. As the Falcons gear up. Here's a snap. Jimenez hands it off to Espinoza, out to the right side. Can't find a gap, and it'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and goal now for Concordia, Wisconsin. As they'll bring Hinton back into the game. Jerome Hinton had a great start to the game as part of that committee backfield.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Ben Jimenez, how he handles the 3rd and goal here. Especially that freshman quarterback coming in a game where you are leading a lot, but you still have a lot to prove as the backup and as a freshman. So seeing what kind of play call they go with here, and then subsequently how it's executed.
Here's a snap. Jimenez looking to the end zone. Pass picked off in the end zone by Damaris Dumas, and the Cougars get the turnover.
Oh, and that's a tough look. Like I said, the game's kind of out of the hands here, but especially for the freshman quarterback, you're getting in there, you're getting your hands warm, so to speak. A lot of running plays, not many passing plays, but I respect the will to actually go and throw that ball just a little bit too short, though.
They're trying to run that goal line fade, looking for Victor Watson Jr., and like you said, just not enough under it. That goal line fade is a risky play. It's one of the most risky plays in football. More often than not, you'll see a goal line fade. If it's not completed, it's about a 50-50, whether it's going to be incomplete or an interception. Yeah, and there the Cougars get the pick.
Yet another low snap by Trey Williams there.
And Brown brought down in the backfield, and he's slow to get up. Yeah, you see Coach Hankins immediately sending in Bubba Henson. And this is a game that's out of hand. You do not want your RB1 to take an injury.
Yeah, he's had one heck of a game as well on the ground. But he's limping off a little bit. Hopefully it's not anything too serious.
2nd and 11 for Concordia, Chicago. Bosch getting ready for the shotgun. 2 players left, 1 right in the receiving corps. He has Henson in the backfield. There's a snap. Bosch handoff to Henson, looking for the left edge. Cuts back to the middle, and it'll be brought down for a 2-yard gain.
That was a good cutback. That play was blown up there by the defensive line, but good cutback to get back to the original line of scrimmage, if you will, there for a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9.5 or so we're about to see here.
We'll see how aggressive the Cougars are on 3rd down, trailing by 27 with 7 minutes-ish to go. There's Jackson in motion. Snap. Bosch looking left. Under pressure, stepping up. Out to the right. And Bosch going to be brought down for a sack.
That is just another testament to the secondary and the defense from the Falcons. There was plenty of opportunities for Bosch to look down the field and to try to make a throw, but the receivers were all covered.
And 3-man rush working out for the Falcons as they force a 4th and 10 at the 20. Out comes the Cougars punt team. Dennis Vanderplow going to get another look as clock continues to run down. Vanderplow will send it away.
That was a
Good
good
punt.
punt.
And a good roll all the way to the 30. As Caden Stroher dives on top of it. 50-yard punt for Dennis Vanderplow. And that's where this Concordia, Wisconsin offense will head out onto the field. So Ben Jimenez leading the offense back out onto the field. New face in the backfield. And that running back by committee looks to be Jordan Garcia, senior from Lockhart, Texas. Now handed off to Garcia up the middle. And he's brought down after a 6-yard gain. The Cougars on their end, they've had their bye. They'll move on from here to take a trip up to the land, as the Lakeland Muskies like to call it, Plymouth, Wisconsin, to take on Robbie Michael and the Lakeland Muskies. Arguably one of the games of the year in the NAC last year between the Cougars and the Muskies in River Forest. A game where the Muskies won, I believe, we'll pull up that score again. Both teams putting up 60 points. The Muskies a buzzer beater touchdown on an 81-yard throw to win that game.
Putting up 6. Oh,
there's a fumbled snap. Jimenez trying to do something with it, and he'll be brought down for a sack.
good recovery by the freshman quarterback. Turned that negative play into a positive play of about 1 yard or so. You had mentioned, last year, the game of the year last year against the Muskies, putting up 60 points per team. That is almost unheard of.
Yeah, the Cougars losing 66-61 to Robbie Michael and the Lakeland Muskies. And that's a game that was a heartbreaker for the Cougars, had the game in hand.
66-61, that's like a basketball score.
The Cougars, we saw a lot of basketball scores from the Cougars last year, as that defense did struggle. Much improved defense for Concordia Chicago this year. Pass caught for a first down. Kevin Lunds with the catch, and it's a first down for the Falcons.
Number 9 for the Cougars, Shearer. He looks like he got banged up a little bit on that last play as he got juked out by the quarterback, and then on that one just a little bit too slow for the read. Left that receiver kind of open in the midfield.
About 4 minutes to go now in the game. First and 10 from the 48-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 left. There's a snap, handoff to Garcia, who can't get to the edge, and he's brought down for a loss. Second and 11 for the Falcons. So the Cougars, big game against Lakeland next week. From there, they'll travel to Lisle, Illinois, face the Benedictine Eagles there before coming back home for their season finale against the Aurora Spartans. 2 receivers right, 1 left for the Falcons. Handoff to Garcia, looking for the right edge. And he won't get there, taken down in the backfield for a loss. 3rd and long for the Falcons. Under 3 minutes to go in the game. Both teams content with just running this clock down. Three receivers left, 1 right. There's a snap. Jimenez under pressure, lets it fly deep. Incomplete.
Another underthrown ball.
Yeah. And that just looked like Jimenez just couldn't get enough on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he felt a little bit of that pressure from the rush from 33 here, from Dominic Espinoza. Try to get it away, and he did, but just didn't have enough sauce underneath it.
So it's 4th down and 12. Out to punt is Max Washansky. As back to receive is Josiah Lugo. And Washansky will send it away. Under pressure. It's a high punt. Ooh. And Lugo able to bring it in.
Goes back to that opening kickoff, the reception there from Lugo, where he fumbled that one, and that one was almost another trouble there, but he was able to recover and catch it. And he's kind of laughing on the sidelines, realizing.
And there is a flag down on the field around where the ball was punted. And it's a running into the kicker penalty against the Cougars, but that's only 5 yards. Wouldn't be enough for the first down. The Falcons will decline it. They like where that ball ended up with pinning the Cougars within the 20-yard line. And that's where the Cougars offense will head back out onto the field 11 seconds away from the 2-minute warning. On the day now for those punters. Quote, Dennis Vanderplow only averaging 29.8 yards per punt today. Falcons and Washansky only averaging 30. A tough day for both of these punters. One of Vanderplow is being blocked. Here's the snap. Bosch hands it off to Henson, looking for a gap up the middle. And it'll be brought down at the 20-yard line for a short 3-yard gain. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. They'll take one last break down on the field. We'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a minute. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. 2 minutes to go in the game. Cougars 2nd and 7 to go at the 20-yard line as they look to just run this clock down as they trail by 27. Rushing attempt to Dominic Jolly. Goes nowhere. Sets up 3rd and 7 for the Cougs.
Yeah, looks like Jacob Redmond, the backup senior quarterback, in there as well. Trying to get him some touches in the last couple minutes while I can. Be interesting to see if it's just run plays or we can get some thrown plays for another low snap. Good recovery.
And Jolly finding a gap on the right edge, and it's enough for a first down. Dominic Jolly picks up 10. The Cougars will have 1st and 10 at the 31. First and 10, Concordia, Chicago at the 31. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Snap, handoff to Jolly again. Another gap to the left. Jolly all the way to the 50-yard line before he's brought down out of bounds.
It's 2 big plays that they've strung together in a row for the run.
And they'll stop the clock after Jolly gets out of bounds. Dominic Jolly making the most of his opportunities with the ball in garbage time. 2 right, 1 left for Redmond. Snap, they'll go to Jolly. And this time, Jolly not going to find a big gap, but it's enough of a gap for a 7-yard gain.
As the clock starts to run, 40 seconds left in the quarter here. You got to imagine they're probably going to try to do one more run around the clock and call it a game for what has unfortunately not been much of a close game for the Cougars. Did have a little bit of life there going into halftime, and that was sure was exciting to see.
Redmond will let it fly out of bounds, so we'll still be going in River Forest. Cougars still fighting. Yeah, it was an exciting game during that second quarter, close end of the first half, and thought Cougars had some life in them at the start of that second half, just didn't get off the way they wanted to. And I think the biggest what if for this game is if you clean up those turnovers, what can this game look like? Do you have a tie at half, a lead at half? Are you in this game more? And unfortunately for the Cougars, all that is what ifs. And at the end of the day, you look at the box score, and it's been a dominant win from start to finish for Concordia, Wisconsin. One-yard gain on the rush, and that should do it as the Cougars start to head towards the sideline. A rough rivalry matchup for the Cougars and a big win for Concordia, Wisconsin. The Falcons come into River Forest and blow up the Cougars to the tune of 47-20 with a big second half and a big day from Roman Funk leading the way for Concordia, Wisconsin. 6 touchdowns and nearly 300 yards for the QB. 27-point win for Concordia, Wisconsin. They moved to 6-0 in conference, a 6-game winning streak as they look to have an undefeated conference season and pick up their first conference title in a hot minute. Cougars drop to 2-3 in NAC play, 4-3 on the season, as Concordia Chicago just can't get it done at home. Concordia, Wisconsin, they head back home next week to take on the Rockford University Regents. The Cougars head back out on the road for a 2-week road trip starting in Plymouth, Wisconsin to take on the Lakeland University Muskies. Before we close things up, we'll run through a few of those stats. Like we mentioned, Roman Funk, 298 yards, 6 passing touchdowns, and a 65% completion percentage, 2 interceptions for the QB. And his favorite target, Jason Leonard, 8 catches, 138 yards, and 4 touchdowns. A heck of a day for Jason Leonard. Over on the Cougars end, Colton Bosch, 58% completion rate, 230 passing yards, and 3 touchdowns. A good day overall for Bosch. Just wasn't enough. But Kevon Lawson, an amazing day.
Man,
for
what
him.
A game he had, yeah.
Yeah, 8 catches, 185 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that one that you called, Alex, just send him in the secondary, let him run free. And when that secondary was still, somewhat working for the Cougars and they were able to get him open, he was burning through that secondary. 2 70-plus yard touchdown catches for Lawson today.
Yeah, 2 very explosive plays, but unfortunately just undermined by the fundamental mistakes by the Cougars overall, which is really tough to see when you do have those big plays you can put together, but they're just not backed up with any consistency.
Yeah, Cougars, too many mistakes, and they're not able to get in it against the Falcons today in River Forest. They'll try to get things back on track next week against the Lakeland University Muskies. You can catch up on anything you missed this season and everything that's left to come at the cucougars.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and thank you to everyone who made today's broadcast possible. I'm Jonathan Shearer of the Cougars Sports Network. Joining me today was Alex Abbott. Thank you for joining us, and as always, roll Cougs.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.